In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, Mr. President, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to China on assuming the presidency of Security Council this month. I also warmly congratulate Algeria for the successful leadership and its presidency's conclusion in January. We appreciate Mr. Peterson, the Special Envoy, and Ms. Misuya, the Assistant Secretary General, for their briefing and their support for the UN's constructive engagement with the Syria caretaker authorities to improve the situation in Syria. Mr. President, given the current situation in Syria, I would like to make the following point. First, Syria continues to face significant humanitarian and economic challenges. Addressing these issues requires prioritizing the reconstruction of critical infrastructure and the restoration of essential services, particularly early recovery projects that are vital to the country's rebuilding effort. However, these efforts are severely hindered by the unjust and unlawful extraterritorial sanctions imposed by the US and the EU. Temporary relief from these illegal measures or limited humanitarian exemptions is not a sustainable solution. These measures must be fully lifted, as they disproportionately harm the most vulnerable population, violate the fundamental rights of the Syrian people, and obstruct the country's recovery. Equally important, removing these illegal measures is essential to creating the conditions necessary for the safe, dignified, and voluntary return of all Syrian refugees and displaced persons. Second, the resurgence of terrorism in Syria poses escalating and urgent threats. The presence of foreign terrorist fighters with conflicting agenda has exacerbated instability, jeopardizing both regional and global security. As the Undersecretary General of the United Nations Office of Counterterrorism warned in this chamber, the risk that stockpiles of the advanced weapon could fall into the hands of terrorists remains a serious concern. An estimated 42,500 individuals, some with alleged link with Daesh, remains in detention camps in northeastern Syria. A structured, accountable process for repatriation is essential to restoring stability in Syria and the broader region. FTS must be returned to their countries of origin, held accountable through legal proceeding, and prevented from posing further threats. Iran remains firmly committed to combating terrorism and is prepared to cooperate with legitimate international partners to address these critical challenges. Third, the rights of all communities must be fully respected in accordance with international law, and all forms of political pressure and harassment aimed at displacing minorities in Syria, particularly Alevites and Shiites, must cease immediately. Likewise, safeguarding Syrian religious sites is crucial to preserving the country's identity and unity. In this context, all communities must have unrestricted access to their religious places and be able to practice their rituals freely without fear of persecution, intimidation, or arrest. Fourth, Israel remains a serious threat to Syria, repeatedly violating Syrian sovereignty and territorial integrity, defying all Security Council resolutions. This regime refused to withdraw from the occupied Golan Heights. With US support, Israel has expanded its occupation and systematically dismantled Syria's military and research infrastructure. The Security Council must take decisive action to stop these violations and compel Israel to withdraw from all occupied Syrian territories. Fifth, Iran once again reaffirms its unwavering commitment to Syrian sovereignty, independence, unity, and territorial integrity. The future of Syria must be determined solely by its people, free from any external interference or imposition. Iran supports the formation of an exclusive government through free election and comprehensive national dialogue, ensuring fair representation for all Syrians. Resolution 2254 provides a clear framework with constitutional reform as a key priority. Furthermore, Iran underscores Syrians' rightful and deserved place in the international community, emphasizing its commitment to international and bilateral obligation while safeguarding its sovereignty. Sixth, we categorically and unequivocally reject the baseless allegation made by the representative of the United States against my country. These accusations are not only unfounded, but appear to be crafted solely to distort the truth and reality on the ground and mislead the international community. Regrettably, such claims are neither surprising nor unexpected. They are only the product of directives from Washington, which finds it necessary to accuse Iran at every Security Council meeting. However, the facts speak for themselves. For many years, under the pretext of counterterrorism, the United States has repeatedly violated Syria's sovereignty and territorial integrity and provided safe haven for terrorist groups and the occupying regime of Israel to further its geopolitical ambitions. In conclusion, Mr. President, Iran remains dedicated to playing a constructive role, working in coordination with the United Nations, regional partners, and the Syrian government, which represents the will of the Syrian people, to achieve lasting peace and stability in Syria and the broader region. In this context, we fully support the efforts of UN Special Envoy Geir Peterson and stress that the United Nations must play a central role in this process. I thank you.